Hey, you. Yes, you. The one who's always been a little different. The one who doesn't follow the crowd, who values her independence, who moves through life on her own terms. You're not lost. You're not broken. You're a Sigma female. And today we're talking about dating. Not just any kind of dating, but dating in a way that honors who you truly are. So you're a Sigma female, independent, self-sufficient, and completely uninterested in playing by society's dating rules. You don't chase attention, and you don't settle. You're a mystery, a force, and, let's be honest, sometimes that intimidates people. But here's the thing, the right person won't be scared off, they'll be drawn in. Today we're breaking down exactly how to attract a partner who values your strength, respects your independence, and connects with you on a real level. First, let's define what sets you apart. Let's start with this. You're not like most people when it comes to dating, and that's a good thing. While many people seek validation through relationships, needing constant attention, reassurance, or external approval, you operate differently. You don't chase, you don't beg, you don't play games. Why? Because you don't need a relationship to feel complete. A Sigma female is independent, self-reliant, and confident in her own skin. You're comfortable being alone because you enjoy your own company. You have your own goals, dreams, and ambitions, and you don't mold yourself to fit anyone's expectations. You move through life on your terms, and that's what makes you stand out. Before we move on, I just want to take a quick moment to say, if you're enjoying this content, don't forget to subscribe. Around 80% of viewers watch, but never hit that subscribe button, and it really helps support the channel. Plus, you won't miss out on future videos made just for you. So if you're finding this valuable, take a second to subscribe. It means a lot. Now, let's get back to it. Now, this kind of independence can be intimidating to some people, especially to those who expect their partner to be overly available or dependent. That's where dating as a Sigma female becomes both challenging and unique. Most dating advice out there is built on a framework of seeking and securing attention. It tells women to be more available, to play hard to get, or to adjust their personality to be more likable. But for a Sigma female, that just feels fake. You don't want to waste time on shallow connections or force yourself to be someone you're not. You're not interested in impressing anyone for the sake of it, and because of this, you approach dating differently. Instead of trying to fit into someone else's world, you naturally attract people into yours. You don't follow dating rules or change your behavior just to keep someone interested. You show up authentically and you expect the same in return. Some people might call you picky or too independent. But the truth is, you simply refuse to settle for anything less than a meaningful connection. You're not looking for just anyone. You're looking for someone who truly understands and respects your independence. Someone who doesn't see your strength as a challenge, but as something to admire and support. This means you won't waste time on relationships that don't align with your values. You don't entertain people who play mind games, and you certainly don't tolerate toxic behavior. If someone tries to control you, dim your light, or make you feel like you have to prove your worth, you're out. And that's powerful. At the end of the day, dating as a Sigma female isn't about changing yourself to fit into someone else's life. It's about finding someone who complements yours. The right partner won't be intimidated by your independence. They won't try to change you, make you more available, or expect you to be someone you're not. Instead, they'll appreciate your strength, respect your space, and support your ambitions. And when that happens, you'll know you've found the right match, not because you needed them, but because you chose them. One of the biggest mistakes a Sigma female can make in dating: lowering her standards. It happens more often than you'd think. especially when boredom, loneliness, or outside pressure start creeping in. Maybe you've been single for a while and people around you keep asking, why don't you just give someone a chance? Or maybe you meet someone who isn't a great fit, but you tell yourself, well, they're not that bad. That's how it starts. But here's the reality. Every time you compromise your standards, you step further away from the kind of relationship you actually want. If you're a Sigma female, you already know you're different. You value your independence. You don't settle for surface-level connections. You think deeply about what you want in life. So why should dating be any different? The key to a fulfilling relationship isn't about finding someone, it's about finding the right one. And that starts with setting real standards, not just casual preferences. Let's be real. Society pressures women to compromise all the time. You hear things like, you're being too picky, nobody's perfect, just make it work. Maybe your standards are too high. But think about it. Would you tell someone to lower their standards in any other area of life? Would you tell a business owner to hire someone who's not qualified? Would you tell an athlete to stop training because their goals are too high? Because that would be ridiculous. So why should dating be any different? When you lower your standards just to make it work, you end up in relationships that drain you, frustrate you, or worse, hold you back from becoming your best self. And for a Sigma female, nothing is worse than feeling trapped in the wrong relationship. You don't need to be with someone just for the sake of it. You're perfectly fine on your own. So if someone isn't meeting your needs, why waste your time? The truth is, having high standards isn't about being difficult, it's about being intentional. So how do you actually set your standards? It starts with knowing your non-negotiables. These are the core values and qualities that you refuse to compromise on, no matter what. Take a moment to ask yourself, what kind of energy do I want in my life? Do you want someone who's supportive, ambitious, emotionally intelligent? Or are you okay with someone who just coasts through life without any real direction? What values matter most to me? Honesty, loyalty, independence. Think about the qualities that define who you are and what you respect in others. Write these down. Say them out loud. Be clear about them. The clearer you are with yourself, the easier it becomes to filter out the wrong matches. This isn't about making a superficial checklist of traits like tall, dark, and handsome. It's about knowing what truly matters to you in a relationship, beyond just attraction. Because when you have a solid understanding of your non-negotiables, you won't waste time on people who don't align with your values. You'll recognize the wrong match immediately, and instead of making excuses for them, you'll walk away with confidence. A lot of people confuse preferences with standards, but they're not the same thing. Preferences are things that are nice to have, but not essential. Standards are things that are non-negotiable. For example, a preference might be wanting someone who shares your taste in music or movies. A standard is wanting someone who communicates honestly and respects your boundaries. If someone isn't meeting your standards, they're not the right person for you. It's that simple. And here's the thing, having standards doesn't push the right people away. It attracts them. When you hold yourself to a higher level, you naturally attract people who respect and appreciate that. The wrong people will fall away, and that's a good thing. A Sigma female doesn't settle. She doesn't adjust her values just to make someone else comfortable. She knows what she wants, and she's willing to wait for the right person rather than waste time on the wrong one. So, the next time someone tells you you're too picky, remind yourself, you're not being picky, you're being intentional. You're not waiting, you're choosing wisely. You deserve a relationship that enhances your life, not one that drains it. The right person will come along, but only if you make space by refusing to entertain the wrong ones. So set your standards, stand by them, and never apologize for expecting more, because you deserve more. As a Sigma female, you're naturally independent. You don't crave constant validation, and you aren't afraid to be alone. You value your personal space, your freedom, and your peace of mind. But in the world of dating, that kind of self-sufficiency isn't always understood or respected. Some people see independence as a challenge, something they need to break down or control. Others may assume that because you're not overly expressive or needy, you don't have emotional needs at all. That's why boundaries are everything. They are your protection, your filter, and your power. Boundaries aren't about pushing people away or being difficult. They're about setting the standard for how you expect to be treated. They define what you will and won't tolerate, ensuring that the relationships you build are healthy, balanced, and fulfilling. Without them, you risk attracting people who take more than they give, drain your energy, or fail to respect your individuality. The right partner will respect your space, your independence, and your need for deep, meaningful connection. But that only happens if you set the tone. Too often, Sigma females assume that people will naturally understand their boundaries without needing to spell them out. Unfortunately, that's not how it works. People will test your limits, sometimes intentionally, sometimes without realizing it. This is why clear communication is essential. You have to express your needs early and directly. If something is important to you, whether it's alone time, personal goals, emotional depth, or the pace of a relationship, say it up front. If someone is genuinely interested in you, they will appreciate your honesty and respect your boundaries. If they push back, dismiss your concerns, or make you feel guilty for having standards, that's a red flag. A partner who truly values you won't see your boundaries as an obstacle. They'll see them as a sign of self-respect. And someone who respects you will respect your boundaries without needing to be convinced. One of the biggest mistakes people make is trying to justify their boundaries to someone who refuses to acknowledge them. If you say you need space and they accuse you of being distant, that's a sign of emotional immaturity. If you explain that you have non-negotiables and they try to negotiate them anyway, that's manipulation. A person who truly cares won't try to argue with your needs. They'll listen, understand, and adapt. This is why it's important to recognize early warning signs. If someone ignores your boundaries once, they'll do it again. And if you let it slide the first time, they'll assume they can continue to push those limits. This is how toxic patterns start, not in big dramatic moments, but in small, seemingly insignificant compromises that gradually erode your sense of control. The strongest thing you can do is enforce your boundaries without guilt. You don't need to explain, debate, or convince. You don't need to soften your stance to make someone comfortable. If they can't handle your boundaries, they are not the right person for you. Walking away isn't a loss, it's self-respect in action. Many Sigma females have experienced relationships where they felt their independence was treated as a problem rather than a strength. Maybe you've been with someone who wanted more of your time than you were willing to give, who got upset when you prioritize yourself, or who made you feel guilty for needing solitude. This happens because society often equates love with constant availability, and for someone who thrives in their own space, that expectation can feel suffocating. But here's the truth. The right person will not just accept your boundaries, they will appreciate them. They will see your independence as a sign of confidence, not detachment. They will respect your alone time as something that makes you stronger, not something that threatens them. And they will never make you feel like you have to choose between being yourself and being in a relationship. Boundaries also apply to emotional energy. As a Sigma female, you probably don't enjoy drama, unnecessary emotional turbulence, or relationships that feel like an emotional roller coaster. You prefer stability, depth, and honesty. This means you need to be mindful of people who bring chaos into your life. partners who thrive on drama, who constantly test your patience, or who drain you emotionally. Your energy is valuable, and not everyone deserves access to it. One of the most powerful boundaries you can set is deciding who gets to be in your life and who doesn't. Not everyone who is interested in you deserves your time. Not everyone who wants a relationship with you is right for you. And not everyone who claims to care about you actually respects you. This is why it's so important to trust your instincts. If someone's energy feels off, if they make you question your worth, or if they bring more stress than happiness, you have every right to walk away. You don't owe anyone an explanation for protecting your peace. Some people will say that having strong boundaries makes you difficult or too independent. But let's be honest, those are usually the people who benefit from weak boundaries. The people who respect you won't be intimidated by your standards. They'll rise to meet them. And the people who are intimidated, they were never the right match in the first place. Healthy relationships aren't about sacrifice. They're about mutual respect. Two people who bring their best selves into the relationship without trying to change or control each other. That's the kind of connection you should aim for, and the only way to attract that kind of connection is by standing firm in who you are. At the end of the day, boundaries are not about building walls to keep love out. They are about creating a filter that allows the right kind of love in. Love that doesn't suffocate. Love that doesn't demand that you shrink. Love that allows you to be your fullest, most authentic self. When you set strong boundaries, you don't just protect yourself from bad relationships, you make room for the right one. Because the right person won't need convincing, they'll simply respect you. And that's the foundation of real love. Confidence is often misunderstood. Many people think it means being the loudest person in the room, always knowing the right thing to say, or never feeling insecure. But true confidence, real confidence, isn't about performance. It's about certainty. It's about knowing exactly who you are, what you stand for, and never apologizing for it. As a Sigma female, you don't seek external validation. You don't need to be the center of attention or prove yourself to anyone. Your confidence comes from within, from an unshakable understanding of your worth. You know that your value isn't determined by how many people notice you, how many followers you have, or how many admirers chase after you. It's determined by how you feel about yourself when no one is watching. When you walk into a room, you don't have to announce your presence. Your energy speaks for itself. But this level of confidence doesn't just appear overnight. It's built through experience, growth, and a deep connection with yourself. It comes from spending time alone and actually liking your own company. It develops when you stop seeking approval and start living for yourself. The more you focus on your personal growth, the stronger your confidence becomes. This is why working on yourself is the key to attracting the right partner. You don't want someone who fills a void. You want someone who complements your already full life. Many people go into relationships looking for completion, thinking love will solve their problems or make them feel whole. But as a Sigma female, you don't wait for someone to fix you because you're not broken. Instead, you invest in yourself, pursue your passions, and keep evolving. This mindset is magnetic. When you are truly happy with yourself, you naturally attract people who respect and admire your strength. The mistake many women make in dating is shrinking themselves to fit into someone else's world. They downplay their ambitions, silence their opinions, or make themselves smaller just to be more likable. But confidence means refusing to shrink. It means standing tall in your beliefs, expressing your thoughts unapologetically, and never diminishing your success to make someone else feel comfortable. A strong partner will never be threatened by your power. They will celebrate it. And if someone feels intimidated by your confidence, that's their insecurity, not your problem. True confidence isn't aggressive or arrogant. It doesn't need to prove anything. It simply is. It's the quiet assurance that you are enough, exactly as you are. This is why you should never compromise your identity for a relationship. The right partner will see your strength and want to grow alongside you, not hold you back. They will admire your independence, not try to control it. They will support your dreams instead of asking you to choose between love and ambition. The best relationships are built on mutual respect, where both people inspire each other to be better versions of themselves. But that only happens when you stay true to yourself. When you embrace who you are fully, you attract a partner who aligns with that version of you, not someone who expects you to change. One of the most powerful ways to build confidence is to keep promises to yourself. When you set goals and follow through, you prove to yourself that you are capable and reliable. Confidence isn't about perfection, it's about trusting yourself. Even when things don't go as planned, even when you make mistakes, you stand by yourself. You don't let failures define you. You learn, you grow, and you keep moving forward. This kind of resilience is incredibly attractive. It shows that you don't need someone to hold you up. You can stand on your own. And when you choose to let someone into your life, it's not out of desperation, but out of genuine connection. Another key to confidence is knowing that rejection doesn't define you. Not everyone will understand or appreciate your energy, and that's okay. Confidence means recognizing that someone else's inability to see your worth doesn't make you any less valuable. You don't chase after people who don't appreciate you. You don't beg for love, attention, or validation. You are the validation. You know what you bring to the table, and if someone doesn't see it, you move on. Confidence isn't about never feeling doubt or insecurity. It's about acknowledging those feelings and choosing not to let them control you. It's about trusting yourself even when the world tries to shake you. Ultimately, confidence is about showing up as your full, authentic self, without fear, without apology, without compromise. It's about owning your strengths, embracing your imperfections, and knowing that you are enough exactly as you are. When you carry this kind of energy, the right person will recognize it. They will be drawn to your certainty, your independence, and your quiet strength. And when that happens, you won't have to force anything. The right connection will come naturally, effortlessly, because you are already whole. Dating as a Sigma female comes with unique challenges. You don't follow the traditional dating script, and you certainly don't waste your time with superficial connections. You're not interested in playing games, pretending to be someone you're not, or forcing chemistry where it doesn't exist. You value deep, meaningful relationships, and you need someone who understands and respects your independence. So, where do you meet someone like that? The key is to stop looking for someone and start living in a way that attracts the right kind of person. Forget the forced small talk, awkward setups, and situations where you feel like you have to perform. The best way to meet a compatible partner is to engage in spaces where you already thrive, places where you feel confident, comfortable, and in your element. Whether it's through your hobbies, career, or social circles, the right person will naturally gravitate toward you when you're fully embracing your own life. Think about where you genuinely enjoy spending your time. If you're passionate about fitness, maybe you meet someone at the gym or a hiking group. If you love reading, perhaps you cross paths with someone in a book club or at a local coffee shop. If personal growth is important to you, workshops, networking events, or even volunteering can be great places to connect with like-minded individuals. The goal isn't to go to these places just to meet someone. It's to engage in activities that fulfill you while remaining open to connections happening organically. When you're genuinely enjoying yourself, you radiate confidence and authenticity, and that's incredibly attractive. People are drawn to those who are happy, engaged, and fully present in their own lives. Now let's talk about dating apps. If you choose to use them, be strategic. A Sigma female doesn't waste time endlessly swiping or engaging in conversations that go nowhere. Quality over quantity is the rule. Instead of spreading your energy thin, focus on connections that align with your values. Be upfront about who you are and what you want. Don't play games or entertain people who clearly aren't a match. If someone isn't putting in effort, don't chase them. If they aren't showing genuine interest, move on. The biggest mistake people make with dating apps is treating them like a numbers game. But for you, it's about finding someone who truly understands and appreciates your mindset. That means being selective, setting boundaries, and filtering out anyone who doesn't align with your standards. Most importantly, shift your mindset from searching for someone to being open to the right person finding you. There's a big difference. When you're constantly looking for a relationship, you can fall into the trap of forcing connections, ignoring red flags, or settling for someone just because they're available. But when you focus on building a fulfilling life and trust that the right person will naturally enter your world at the right time, you approach dating from a place of abundance, not desperation. You're not trying to find someone, you're simply making space for the right energy to enter your life. That means trusting the process, enjoying your independence, and knowing that the right person will recognize and appreciate you without you having to convince them. When you live with this mindset, meeting the right person becomes effortless because you're not chasing, you're attracting. Once you find someone who truly aligns with your values, the key to making the relationship last is to keep things real. No games, no pretense, just authenticity. So many relationships fail because people try to be who they think their partner wants them to be instead of showing up as their true selves. But real connection comes from emotional honesty, not from pretending to be perfect. If you're a Sigma female, you already know that surface-level connections don't fulfill you. You crave depth, meaning, and an emotional bond that goes beyond casual attraction. That kind of intimacy is only built through open communication and vulnerability. It means being honest about your thoughts, feelings, and expectations, even when it's uncomfortable. It means expressing what you need and listening just as much as you speak. It also means choosing a partner who respects your independence rather than trying to control or change you. A real relationship isn't about one person giving up their identity to fit into the other's world. It's about two whole individuals choosing to build something meaningful together. Shared passions and mutual respect are the glue that keeps a connection strong. While opposites may attract, lasting relationships are built on shared values and a deep understanding of each other's needs. This doesn't mean you have to be identical to your partner, but it does mean your core beliefs and life goals should complement each other. If you love growth, ambition, and independence, being with someone who lacks motivation or resists change will only create tension. The best relationships feel like a partnership, where both people inspire and challenge each other in a positive way. You should feel supported, not suffocated, encouraged, not controlled. A healthy relationship should never make you feel like you're losing yourself. It should make you feel even more you. When two independent people come together in a way that allows them both to grow, that's when real magic happens. It's not about dependence. It's about choosing each other every single day. That's what you should aim for. Not just someone to fill a space in your life, but someone who makes your already fulfilling life even better. Being a Sigma female means you don't settle. You don't mold yourself to fit someone else's idea of perfect. Instead, you attract the right match by standing firm in who you are. Now I want to hear from you. What do you think is the hardest part about dating as a Sigma female? Drop your thoughts in the comments. And if you want more content like this, Check out my next video on how Sigma females handle rejection like a pro. See you there. Subscribe, like, watch next video.